Hi everyone. Today I'll be discussing how college can affect students' religious beliefs when entering and while in college. Diving into this more, I will talk about how religion can also affect mental health and how students cope to new ideas and beliefs while in college. I'm also going to touch upon the stereotypes of the college experience and look at some older articles from the early 2000s and newer articles to reflect this ideal. So, growing up, most, if not everybody, grows around what their parents believe. From politics to religion, or even just how you're supposed to act, all of that is influenced by your parents. All ideals that our parents have placed upon us, we are suddenly no longer able to fall back on once we leave and are on our own for college. So, this takes me to my first point of the night. From the Keep Eastern Illinois University back in 2018, a research project was taken by Caitlin Christine Noah, a student at the Eastern Illinois University, whose purpose was to find out the impact of faith development and decision making on college students. If you aren't sure where Illinois is, in this article, Caitlin explains how when students are out of their house, their opinions and thoughts are their complete own. Students are no longer able to fall back on their parents' beliefs and faith when they transition into the real world. As Caitlin quotes in her research article, the purpose of the study was to determine how students' faith changes during the transition from high school to college, and if that faith plays a role in how students make decisions in their lives at college. In her study, she takes 4 participants to discuss their faith throughout the transition of coming from high school to college. The 4 participants, Phil, William, Sarah, and Emma, all had different but somewhat similar experiences. For Phil, he was no longer able to rely back on his parents to make him go to church or consistently believe within his faith while he was off at college. When transitioning from high school to college, Phil moved away from his religion but soon started volunteering at the campus church to feel less homesick. Phil felt that religion was a part of home for him. For William, he really started to find the true meaning of religion and faith outside of his home. When entering college, he worked hard towards becoming a minister at his school church. With Sarah, it was different. Being at college felt refreshing for her. She was not forced to go to church or practice her faith. Going into college, she wanted to have the college experience and didn't want to have to carry on her faith that her parents had put forth on her. As for Emma, she lived at home and went to community college for a while before transferring to Eastern Illinois. While living at home, she discussed that the expectations were high and she must attend church with her parents. Once she got to college, she put her faith on hold for a while, but decided to explore it again. Emma found that when she explored her religion by herself, she found the true meaning of it. All 4 of these participants in the study also stated that religion was a big factor in their lives growing up, and it has shaped the way of their views throughout college. Now, instead of looking at students in Illinois, I decided to look back at previous Morgan graduates from the year of 2023 to see how many attended a religious affiliated college in Connecticut. Looking at the data taken from all students from the Morgan Schools class of 2023, 51 students out of the total of 117 students who attended a college that was in the state of Connecticut. Out of these 51 students, only 4 students attended a college that had a religious affiliation. These schools were Fairfield University, Sacred Heart University, University of St. Joseph, and Trinity College. Most students who attended a college in Connecticut attended a community college or attended the University of Connecticut. The majority of other students attended schools like Quinnipiac, Central Connecticut State University, or Southern Connecticut State University. From this data, this shows that this select group of students primarily chose a school that was not affiliated with religion. Of those 4 students who did attend a religious school, one cannot be certain if they went there for religion or if they primarily liked the school. Continuing with students from the Morgan School, I sent out a survey to students who are juniors, the class of 2025, to get them thinking about religion while in college. I came up with a series of 7 questions with different scales on how the students could answer the questions. Out of the students who are juniors, 23 students responded to all 7 of these questions. The first question I asked was, to what extent do you consider yourself religious? 30%, 7 students, responded with that they are not at all religious, and split 3 ways with 21%, 5 students, were answers slightly, moderately, and very religious. The least amount was one person saying that they were extremely religious. The second question asked was, how important is the presence of religious or spiritual organizations on a college campus to you? The majority of students, 52%, 12 students, responded not important. 26%, 6 students, responded that it was moderately important. 17%, 4 students, responded that it was slightly important, and 1 student responded that it was very important. The third question asked was, would the religious affiliation of a college impact your decision to apply or attend? The majority of answers were split between having a minor impact and a moderate impact, which was 30%, 7 students. 26%, 6 students, stated no impact, and 13%, 3 students, stated there would be major impact. The fourth question asked was, how comfortable would you feel in a college environment that practices a religion different from your own? The majority of students, 52%, 12 students, responded with being neutral. 26%, 6 students, responded with being uncomfortable. 17%, 4 students, responded with comfortable, and 1 student responded with being very uncomfortable. The fifth question stated, how likely are you to participate in religious activities offered by the college you are attending? This question was split between all categories. 34%, 8 students, stated being very unlikely to participate. 30%, 7 students, responded neutral. 17%, 4 students, responded likely. 8%, 2 students, responded very likely, and the other 2 students responded with unlikely. The sixth question was, how important is it for you that a college offers courses or programs related to religious studies regardless of its affiliation? The majority of students, 56%, 13 students, responded with not important. 26%, 6 students, responded with slightly important. 13%, 3 students, responded with moderately important, and 1 student responded with very important. The final question included, do you see yourself continuing your practice of religion while in college? Again, this question was very split. 30%, 7 students, responded with very unlikely, while the other 7 students responded with very likely. 21%, 5 students, responded with being neutral, as 2 students stated unlikely, and another 2 students responded likely. This last question showed lots of back and forth between answers. Overall, it was very interesting to see how these students responded and showed that religion didn't hold a strong aspect over these students. But there was still some split between questions, like if they would continue to practice their religion or if they would participate in such activities. Now that we have focused on students and how they feel about religion in Illinois and Clinton, Connecticut, let's continue with this topic and touch upon how students feel a sense of community when joining a religious group in college. In a research publication from the Columbus State University, a 2017 student, Shinquel A.D. Sapp from the Columbus State University, highlights the role of religious and spiritual beliefs within the success of college students. This article states that when first adapting to college, everything is new. The environment, people, ideas, anything, you name it. Shinquel states, overall, the college environment tends to be demanding for students as they face many academic, social, and emotional challenges. Researchers have examined how these challenges can affect college students. With experiencing a new environment, students may feel very stressed and have a lack of motivation for trying new things. With this being said, Shinquel states that researchers have found that religiosity and spirituality can help with students overcoming the transition from high school to college. The practice of religion can help and benefit students to set goals for themselves, finding a meaning and purpose in not only their life but in the work, and help to focus on their priorities at hand. Shinquel also states that it has been proven over the years, college students who are religious and spiritual also tend to form good relationships, seek sources of social support, establish codes of conduct, and search for opportunities of personal growth and development. Concluded that the impact of having religious and spiritual beliefs can help students maintain academic progress and high achievement throughout their college education. Within the topic of forming good relationships in college and having good social support also comes the aspect of mental health. Mental health can play a huge toll on students. From overwhelming workloads to not knowing anyone on campus, students become easily stressed. An article from the Desert News written by W. Justin Dyer states right away in the deck headline, "It's no coincidence that Gen Z has the highest level of mental health issues and the lowest level of religiosity." Throughout Dyer's article, evidence is proven that religion provides students with a sense of belonging within a community of individuals who feel the same about certain topics. This article touches on the aspect that religion can be linked towards more minority university students, as church individuality and involvement can help with coping with stress and desire. As of 2022, 1 in 3 students, which is 37%, who started in a 4-year university don't graduate within 6 years. There are many leading factors as to why 1 in 3 students don't graduate, but the leading factor is around mental health. In his article, he states, "While it is nearly impossible to determine if religiosity causes better mental health or simply correlates with it, after reviewing the vast literature on the topic, 2 Berkeley researchers conclude the case for a causative relation between religion/spirituality and health has been enormously strengthened. On balance, we believe the case is compelling." After this, Dyer states that religion provides students with a sense of belonging and community, and a view that shows individuals a meaning in life, especially to those suffering. Stated here in the article, a study taken of primarily African American students concluded that when continuing with their involvement with their religion in college led to a positive decision. They were able to cope with stress and learn how to make their transition into college a better experience. As dealing with stress and mental health in college is a big topic of discussion, I am moving tonight's discussion over to the topic of religion and relationships. So everyone knows that going to college means more of a chance to meet new people, find your new friends, and branch off for new relationships. In a section for the Journal of Scientific Study of Religion, Amy M. Burdett, Christopher G. Ellison, Terrence D. Hill, and Norval D. Glenn all describe the relations and differences between religion and relationships throughout college. Through this article, they specifically examine the impacts that both religious and non-religious women face when in a relationship. The most surprising factor taken away, in my opinion, was the fact that women who are of the Catholic faith have more relations than a woman who have no connections to a faith. The article talks mostly upon the fact that while in college, students want the college experience and are hooking up, but that's not what I wanted to focus on in this article. What I did want to focus on is this excerpt here. The sentence, "Finally, women who attend colleges and universities with a Catholic affiliation are more likely to have hooked up while at college than women who attend academic institutions with no religious affiliation, net of individual level religious involvement." This shows that even though students, in this case women, who attend college specifically under a Catholic institution are more likely to be unfaithful to their religion than a woman who does not affiliate under a faith, has less to no relations. On the same subject, an article from Tufts titled "Religion in Higher Education" by authors Damon Merrill and Friedan Orr, 2 professors of sociology at the University of California at Berkeley, discussed in the early 2000s, research shows that college students are more religiously engaged than has traditionally been thought, and college is not much of a faith killer that was originally thought. In this section, Merrill and Orr state that in an HERI survey, 56% of the rising 38,000 sophomores reported there was no change in their religious beliefs since attending college. As for the survey at New York University, more than half the students stated there was no change in their beliefs. Lastly, on this subject, Merrill and Orr finished with, for example, based on the data from a nationwide sample of college freshmen, Alyssa Bryant found only a minimal correlation between religion and academic success, and concluded that the religious group participants succeed academically in the first year of college because they arrive at college exhibiting promising academic records. This concludes with my other examples. Religion can help students to exceed in school with the purpose of finding groups to share and reflect with. So with all of this information being said, you're probably wondering, okay, so do students really consider and choose colleges based on religion affiliations? The answer to that is that there really isn't one.
Students mainly base college off of academics, region, and how well a school really is. The only considering factor is if you are someone who is very religious or not. From the website of the National Library of Medicine, they state that, in general, college students are no more likely to develop liberal religious beliefs than non-students, as well as change in religious beliefs appears instead to be more strongly associated with network effects. These findings indicate that college's effect on students' religious beliefs is both weakened and fragmented, and suggests that the multiplicity of social worlds on college campuses may help to sustain religious beliefs as well as religious space and commitment. And then you have Chrissy, who, when someone asked on careervillage.org if she should put her religion on her application, Chrissy states that college should not accept you based on your religious beliefs. But Chrissy is not a very reliable source, especially since her response has been flagged for review. So thank you guys so much for watching my nightly informational session. I hope that you learned how college could affect students and their religious beliefs. Enjoy your night. Think about your own religious beliefs and if they will change in the future when you go off to college.